Lyman, and welcome back to Major Decisions. This is my first official episode, so I'm so excited. And as I promised, I'm going to have a guest with us today. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Makaya. I've known Ashlynn for about 3 years. I've actually met her on SEMO Cheer,
Whoop, whoop.
and she's actually a great person, and I'm so excited to be here today.
Okay, Makaya, if you want to go ahead and describe yourself a little bit, tell us about your personality and what your major is, so what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay, so my major is hospitality management, so that is going to be the topic kind of we're leading towards today. And I feel like that falls into my major just because I am a people person. I'm very talkative. I'm a person that's going to be here. I'm never going to be that quiet person in the room. I'm honest. But at the same time, I feel like it's a good honesty. It's never one to where I feel like I'm trying to attack anybody or everything. I'm very loud, so you can definitely hear me at any point, and I feel like I'm always sharing my opinion. I'm just going to be that person that's going to be there for you. It's going to be honest for you. It's like that loyal friend that everybody has. I feel like that is definitely me.
I'm so glad you said loyal because that's one of my favorite things about you. I find that that's one of your best characteristics, and that's the one word that I would totally describe, Makaya. Love that. So you said we're talking about hospitality management. So what would you kind of describe that as? It sounds really, really intriguing to me, something that I probably would have been interested in had I known about it. So that's what we're here for today. So go ahead and describe it for us.
Yeah. So I feel like hospitality management is like the underdog of majors. I feel like a lot of people are very unsure about it and what it is. I personally thought it was a hospital major when I first heard about it. So I definitely feel like people are kind of unsure on what it is. And I think hospitality kind of falls into certain categories. We have like travel and tourism, restaurants, retail, and then obviously the hotel industry. And I feel like all of these industries, you're focusing on customer service, which is like my point of saying hospitality. Mm-hmm. I feel like people always see that people and people interaction, and it's a major that I feel like kind of grows from. Like you can grow from it within everyday life, and then just kind of like what you do with it. And I feel like hospitality, the jobs are out of the roof from wanting to be something small to be wanting to be some kind of CEO. But you can do a lot with hospitality. Anything with people interaction is hospitality. And people don't even realize that. And that's funny you said Southern hospitality a minute ago. When I first met Marcus' parents in Alabama, I was meeting his mom's friends. And she was like, what are you going to school for? And I was like, hospitality management. She's like, oh, girl, you should have moved to Alabama because we would have taught you ourselves. And I was like, oh, my gosh, this is definitely Southern hospitality down here. So I definitely feel like it's just a people interaction between you and people for hospitality. And I feel like we see that every day. And so it's something that people don't even realize they're good at and that you can grow with it until you kind of hear about it.
Yeah. So how did you hear about it? Because we come from the boot heel, so we're exposed to very, very little. Yeah. And you meet kind of the same people all the time.
Definitely.
So what was that process of deciding you were going to do hospitality management?
So I was very undecided about what I was going to do in my life in general. We had a college advisor. It was a program that Kenneth got to do for their seniors and juniors. And she kind of sat me down one day because I was very kind of like off the wall. I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do in my life. I'm just going to go to college. I just know I got to go to college. So she sat me down, had like a list of all CMO's majors and kind of, is this for you? Is this for you? And I'm like, pass all the sciences, math. No, that's not for me.
No, me either.
Definitely not. And we kind of got to hospitality management. And I'm like I said, oh, you want to work in a hospital? And I'm like, I don't want to work in a hospital. And she's like, no, you're funny. That's not what that is. So she kind of sat me down and told me, do your research, kind of look into this. I feel like this is you. You have the personality for it, and you can grow from it. And after I kind of did some research, I was kind of like, wow, I can get paid to talk to people. Like, yeah, there's work on the side, but I'm like, the main point right now is to please somebody, is just to talk to somebody. I was like, I can fake it till I make it. So I definitely ended up here, and she just told me how good the program was and how great the teachers are and everything. And so I kind of stayed here. I think at one point I thought about maybe changing it just because I just was at a point I'm unsure in my life, but I'm so glad I didn't because I'm so satisfied with it, and I just can't wait to see where I take it.
I love those champions, advisors or professors who see something in you and, will push you to be the best version of yourself, because I think that's so important, because I was the same way. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and it took me, I didn't really have that person, so I'm so thankful that you did. So thank you to that advisor for Makaya, and you rock. Okay, girl, so go ahead and tell us a little bit about the culture at Southeast when it comes to your major in particular, your professors. What does that look like?
So I feel like our professors-wise are definitely, they have different cultures within just them in general. They all kind of took a different perspective in hospitality and all have kind of done different things. And just where they come from in general, they have different perspectives. So just from our professors wise, they are going to give you all different diversity kind of answers on everything, culture things, what they feel like is best for you. They definitely do great with that. And then as far as the students that go there is a wide variety in our class of different cultures and diversities and everything we do. And it kind of affects, what we do in general. I feel like in cooking classes, it shows that, oh, she comes from a Russian culture or she came from an American culture, and I feel like that's fun to see when we are cooking and everything. And then just like our law classes, when we were talking about hospitality law and how things are different overseas, oh, this isn't actually a law over here. So I feel like that culture-wise, we can see that. And then just how we all talk in general and understand things in general. Like at one point, the focus was nonverbal kind of gestures and what's appropriate in different cultures and everything. And I feel like the class was so diverse. We kind of got to see that firsthand instead of just reading it out of a book. So I definitely feel like none of my classes have been straight just one culture or one diversity. There's always been kind of a wide of everything, a wide variety of like different cultures and diversities in our classes and what we do. And I feel like it definitely helps you grow and understand different perspectives on it all.
Yeah, because especially I feel like in hospitality management, you are going to come in contact with people from all over the world, from completely different backgrounds. And so you need to be, prepared and being able to adapt to each type of person, because each person interaction is special, and how you talk to that person is going to make some sort of impression on them. So understanding where they come from and who they are just a little bit goes a long way. What would you say kind of the American diversity in this? So you're a Black woman, Makaya. Do you want to see more Black women in this industry? What is it overwhelmed by? What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely would like to see more Black women in this industry. I feel like our vice president just crossed over and she had a lot of little girls looking at the TV, admiring what they could be and what now has opened, bigger doors for them. And I feel like in the hospitality world, there's huge doors that should be open, and they should be opened by Black women, just because I feel like this is our movement. This is our moment to, empower the world. But I feel like it's so uneducated on the hospitality. There's not a lot of Black women or Black people, I feel like, in general in this major, just because I feel like it's uneducated on. It's not a major that people think they could, bring greatness in, or it's not something that they feel like they can really bring the money home, to take care of themselves. And I feel like that's definitely something that's wrong, and that's definitely something that should be educated on, so we can see more of the Black community strive to be a CEO of Hilton, and I just feel like if that was shared, people would want to do it more instead of kind of being the stereotype, oh, I have to go to school to be a doctor, or I have to go to school to be a lawyer, when in reality, you can go to school for what you want to go to school for and be great in it just as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely would love to see the Black community in general kind of grow from this and kind of, ease into the point, if they felt like hospitality was for them, to stay in there and strive and open bigger doors. So there can be little kids at home, little Black kids at home, seeing a Black woman or a Black man open up this hotel and realize, hey, Mom, I want to own a hotel one day. I would love to see that. That would just make me want to cry, I feel like. So definitely I wish the Black community kind of would join me as I'm here and trying to learn, just because I feel like there's not anyone that's as relatable in any of my classes as far as understanding kind of everything that's going on. But I feel like there are other kids in the class that are just as great and kind of look out for me just as much. But I would just like to see the Black community grow in the major.
What about men and women? Is it like overwhelmed by women? What is that in your classes?
I definitely feel like I see more women than men in anything as far as my classes. And then the men we do have in our classes, I feel like they are more on the chef kind of perspective. They're not really with the perspective of kind of where you're interacting with people a little bit more. And I don't know if because men don't know how to be people pleaser, or that's, a woman's job. But just even at like my job, I feel like majority women. Our GM is a man, and he's great. But definitely more women than anything. And I think men could definitely get a kick out of this. Women come and they would love to see a little fresh, little cute, man sitting there, and it might get them some tips or something. I don't know, but
you might get some tips.
I definitely feel like women are kind of dominating this, and I love that. I'm not opposed to women kind of dominating anything, and I definitely feel like they are dominating this major because that is what I see. And that's kind of when I reach out for people on advice, it's always women hitting at me. And I'm just like, so there's no men here. So I guess my husband would probably be great for that. So I definitely feel like women are like the dominant point of this major.
Okay, yeah. Do you want to go ahead and explain to us like a few of the classes that you go through and what that, experience looks like through your, 4 years of your degree?
Yeah. So there's a wide variety of classes because, like I said, there's a lot of in hospitality. So we take classes that are kind of showing the, the whole perspective and not just one perspective. So we have like cooking classes, and those classes are definitely something that I would have never been into if I wasn't in this major. It's kind of just like basic cooking skills, knife skills. We do like different country kind of cooking. I cooked some rice from Africa. I think it was jollof rice. It was actually pretty good. It was super spicy. It was something I had never kind of heard of before. And I put it on my Snapchat story. And actually one of the students, he's plays on the men's basketball team, Nana. He was like, what do you know about this? And I was like, nothing. I just cooked it. And he's like, oh, my gosh, this is like a piece of home. And so I just feel like that was great for me to see. I'm learning different cultures, and I'm not even kind of realizing it. And even in our classes, we have the culture is wide in there. So when we are in that cooking class, there's students cooking out of cookbooks from home instead of like finding recipes online. And so we definitely get a different kind of perspective of that culture. And then we do have like law classes as well. And I feel like even the law classes, you can learn about different cultures as far as, this is okay in this country and it's not okay in this country. And then just like our travel classes in general, like our travel and tourism classes that we learn so much about. This is a culture in this country. May you choose to work in Japan. So I just feel like it's a wide variety of kind of the world in general. And it's just eye-opening to know where we don't have to stay in small town USA. We can go wherever we want to go, and because it is out there. So it definitely is like eye-opening to me that there's so much different cultures and diversity out there, and I can work within all of them. Might have to, buckle down and learn a little something, because some stuff is definitely different out of other countries. But it's great just to see in the classes, there's like fun points. We have a winery class, so you do get to learn about, different wines and different wine tastings and everything. So I definitely feel like they did great with choosing the classes, we have, because you have to have a balance with, work and then kind of fun. And I feel like it puts a really good balance for us. So I definitely enjoy the classes.
Do you think that they are good for people who maybe know that they want to go into hospitality, or this sounds really intriguing, but they're not sure if they want to do retail or hotel or, cooking? Do you think that it's like gives you a good little slice of everything?
I definitely feel like it does. We have a lot of hospitality managements now, or majors now, that we're just taking a class or two to feel for if this is for me. And I feel like now they're still at the same point I am. Yeah, I love it here. This is still for me. So I definitely feel like even those like first like beginner classes we take, like intro to hospitality, they even kind of are so like wide and have such a wide variety on like the education we learn, that it kind of gives you that perspective on if you're on the line, yes, this is for me, or no, this isn't for me. So they do good with that as well.
That's perfect. What do you think, you said you worked in a hotel. What other experiences, or how did you get that experience, figuring out what you wanted to do? Is there other opportunities in Cape?
So there's plenty of opportunities in Cape. I just looked up. I got that job at the hotel very early on. So when I first got here, I didn't work at all. And then I started working at the mall in a boutique. And I kind of would talk to people, but I wasn't kind of at this point that I am now, where I will talk somebody's head off at work, just because I kind of didn't know the boundaries and the rules, and I was kind of still a little freshman, so I didn't want to, step out of place or anything. I'm usually the youngest wherever I go, so I didn't want to step out of my place or anything. And then I just realized, I was like, this isn't where I want to be. This isn't my goal right now. I was like, I want to be learning a little bit more. So our old cheer coach, Jasmine, actually worked at the hotel, and she texted me one day and was like, can you come up here and do application? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I came up there, and they interviewed me on the spot. the interview lady, her name was Christy, super, super sweet. She loved me instantly, and I got hired. And I feel like from that point on, it only went up for me. I've learned so much and just grew so much from that I feel like the opportunities here are, like, they're here. I've looked up and just searched different things and just different people looking for hospitality. They have that. They have so many companies here. You know, the opportunity in Cape is here, so the opportunity over the world, I feel like, is here. Because Cape, I consider a small town just as well. So I just feel like the opportunity, you just have to go for it because it's out there. Look for it and take your first chance.
What do you say that you have grown in the biggest way through your classes and through your experience?
So through my classes and experience, I feel like just standing my ground in general is what I have grown in. Because not that I ever felt like I was a person that let somebody kind of walk over me, but you have to learn a part of professionalism and then allowing certain things to happen. So you do have to kind of shut stuff down in a professional way than just like a friendly way. A friendly way, I feel like I had no problem with that.
Yeah.
I've been doing that my whole life. But in a professional way, I didn't want to do wrong, so I kind of would let some things slide that I didn't. But I feel like with the experience I have now, I have no problem with telling people, oh, I'll kick you out if you don't get it together. So I feel like that experience has definitely opened that door for me on how you have to have a balance of telling people yes and telling people no. Because yes is a major of pleasing people, but there's also a boundary for every kind of, please you have to get. So I definitely feel like people have to understand that, and with work experience, it has helped me do that, as well as our classes. My teachers are big on scenarios and what would you do if this happened, and I feel like it has grown and helped us in general, because I know Noto, she's one of our teachers, she tells us the feedback she gets the most out of internships are kids don't know how to work with conflict. And so that was my big goal. Yeah, and I feel like I understood that because I had no idea how to work with conflict before I got my job. So that was my big goal, was to make sure I can handle conflict. And so she kind of reflects that in class and gives us scenarios to handle conflict. And she's definitely on her P's and Q's with everything. So she's good with the comebacks when it comes to conflict. So she definitely helps us grow with that. And my experience has helped us grow, me kind of personally grow with that. So I definitely feel like it's kind of a good balance overall with it.
Yeah, so if you're a people pleaser, I'm a people pleaser, Makaya's a people pleaser, it's so hard to say no. I feel like I always say yes to things. I'll figure it out. So I'm glad that you have, and, this major has people who has been in that experience and who, know what the right thing to say is and know how to handle these situations, because you're young, and if someone's older than you, you might not know how to, I feel like I would be very, very hard, it would be a very hard situation for me to kind of be able to stick my ground. So that's pretty cool. Are there any opportunities on campus for people to get involved in this major? Is there any clubs?
So they have a hospitality management club. I'm actually not involved with it. I just don't have the time, with cheer, school, and work. Got to get sleep in as well.
All important things.
Yes. It doesn't give me, that door to open to that club. But I've heard great things about it and the things they do, just like around the community, as well as growing as far as hospitality. They kind of go at some convention in New York, I believe it is, and they kind of like have these little scenarios where you're a fake, hospitality management kind of, you work in that management area, and they kind of like just do different scenarios within their hotel or whatever industry they chose to be in. And I do feel like it'll help you grow personally, and then definitely it's something to put on your resume. So it's definitely kind of like a great club, just from what I've heard from it. I've been interested in it several times. It's like I said, it just, time doesn't allow me to. So it's just something that I would recommend to somebody, just from what I've heard. And, like I said, all our classes, we've all kind of moved classes together, so we know everybody in there. So the people that are in the club, they kind of share what they are doing for those of us who can't be in the club. And, we learned this last night, and we felt like it was great to share. So it seems like it's a really good club. So they do have those clubs, open for you.
Yeah. What kind of advice, or words of encouragement would you give to those who are interested, or who maybe are, taking these intro to hospitality classes? What do you want to say to them?
I would tell them to definitely kind of block everybody out and go for what your heart is telling you to go for. I feel like it's not always about what someone else thinks is best for you, or where the money is, or what your parents want you to do. It's more about what you feel like is best for you. So definitely always do your research. Always feel like, can I see myself doing this for the rest of my life? Can I see myself growing in this? And I feel like those are the questions that are going to give you, yes, I should stay in this. No, I shouldn't stay in this. And I feel like it's also going to be that happy point. Like, are you happy right now? Do you see yourself getting like your full happiness out of this job and these careers? And if so, I tell people, go for it. Don't allow anybody to be like, oh, what kind of major is that? Oh, no, mind your business. This is what I'm happy in. So definitely go for it. I just want people to realize that. And I feel like it's such an opinionated world these days, and social media is telling people, you know, this is the straight standard. When there's no straight standard, you know, do what's best for you. What's best for me may not be best for someone else. So I feel like you just have to self-reflect and do what's best for you.
So just to kind of make sure, so whenever you're in hospitality management, you can own things, you can be a manager of things. Is it a crossover? What does that look like in a actual career setting?
So it definitely could be a crossover. I feel like with somebody who's kind of, you know, in a better spot than me financially, ownership is their ultimate goal here, just to learn that. And when you're ownership, you actually don't have to do as much. Obviously, when you're a management, you know, you pay people to do things for you.
You are boots on the ground.
Yes. But I feel like somebody more in my kind of, you know, perspective, I definitely feel like we would start with management and then kind of grow from there. So you definitely can have a crossover as far as, maybe I'm a GM of this hotel, but I own 2 other hotels in Dallas. Just because, definitely. Goals there. It's definitely possible. You know, how much work do you want to put on your plate? What are you wanting to do? How much money are you wanting to make? I feel like all of that is possible, just depending on what that person is choosing to do. Ultimately, I would not want to work, you know, management and own companies, just because I feel like one day I may want to start a family, so I don't want to have too much on my plate. But I definitely would like to start in a higher management position and then grow and become a owner of a hotel. Several hotels is the goal, but definitely one I would be like jumping off the top of the roof for. So I definitely feel like people can cross over with it in regards to what they do. The juries are really good people here that do both, have hotels and they manage them as well. So they're good people to kind of talk to as far as crossovers and how that all works, because they currently are doing that.
That's really cool. Okay, Makaya, so would you care if people reached out to you, you know, over social media if they had any questions? Are you okay with that? Where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on probably any social media. All my ads are the same. It's Makaya, 2A's _ Nicole, 2E's. Feel free at any point to reach out to me. You know, it kind of makes my heart happy for people to reach out to me. I just feel like, wow, I'm actually helping somebody, you know, just by a text message. Or I may help this girl decide what she wants to do with her life just by texting her back. So I feel like reaching out to me, I'm going to give you an honest opinion of regardless of whatever you ask. So if you want an honest opinion, ask it. If you don't DM me. But I definitely am here for it. I love, you know, helping people in any way I can possibly help them. And if it's just giving them advice, I'm definitely going to give you advice. And I'm probably going to give you a long paragraph because I want you to completely understand, but I'll be here.
Very thorough. I love that. So thank you so much for coming here today, you know, explaining it. I feel like I have learned so much, and I hope that you reach someone out there, you know, that is kind of going to on the teetering side of what they want to do. Yeah. So thanks again, Makaya. You were wonderful. Don't forget to follow the Southeast Arrow on all of our platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of the above. And follow me on Instagram at AshyY. See you later.
Yeah.